Hey everyone, my name is Isaac, and this is Motivation Inspired. Thanks for joining. If you're here for the very first time, make sure you're hitting the subscribe button. Make sure you like at the end of the video, and make sure you write a comment. Today we're going to be talking about Be the Atmosphere. Coming up. Alright, before we dive into today's video, I'm going to post a link right up there. It says how I started Motivation Inspired. This is so important. If you're following me on my journey, you need to understand where I'm going with this. Now, I'm not just any motivational speaker that's out there. I'm living the life of the journey. So that's why I ask everyone who knows me to join me on my journey. Share the video. Down below, there's a subscription. You should subscribe if you want to make changes to your life. And that brings me to my first point. Attitude. Be the atmosphere. Change your attitude. So how do we do that? That's a great question. You know yourself more than anybody else, right? You know what you do that's right. You know what you do is wrong. And you need to change the atmosphere. Let me give you an example. I used to be on a telephone or phone or cell phone, whatever. The point is, I used to be on the phone and I used to try my very best to overcome the person who's over the phone. Do you realize that you're making a mistake by telling people off, telling where they go? Does that change the atmosphere? Yes, it does. It changes the atmosphere and how you are as an individual. That's right. So how do you change that? That's a very great question. So on this video, we're going to be going through 6 ways that's going to help you understand to change the atmosphere you are in right now. I'm going to read something from the Bible that's going to kind of bring this to understanding. And that's going to be found in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 23. I'm going to read this off my screen. To be made an attitude of your minds. So what does that say, Isaac? Well, hold on. Let me share something with you. It means your attitude, your mindset, everything you do that makes and breaks the circumstances you go through in your life. So it's your attitude. It's the things you do that's going to set the tonality, the atmosphere, and who you are as an individual. How do we change that? Well, let's start. Like I said before, this phone call that I made, I started listening to the person over the phone. Before I make assumptions, before I start flaring up, I started myself to say, you know what? It's not worth getting all riled up and not understand and be upset with that individual, because you know what? It breaks that person down and you as a atmosphere changer. So you need to change that. Start talking nice to people. Be the person to set the tonality, the mood. The changes helps you in every aspect of your life. Believe me, I'm still working on it. I've junk in my trunk. I'm under construction, as my pastor says. It's a lot of work, but I've made provisions. I've made these changes for the better. Change your attitude. That's really what you need to do. So how do I be the atmosphere? Well, you're going to set that atmosphere in a positive way, right? You're going to find out how to put things together so that way you have a positive impact in others. So how do you do that? Start weeding out the things that are negative, move them off the side, and start using the positive things that you put together. For example, I'm going to use this example again. Going back to the phone, and you're talking to that person, and you're listening to the person, what do? You want to understand things better, right? I always say, if that person doesn't explain the things that I want to hear or understand it better, maybe that person's not trained well. It doesn't mean you have to go and disrupt their atmosphere. Like I said, have a positive insight on things in that conversation. Find something that's going to be a positive impact. And if you have to redial again and maybe you get somebody else, then so let it be. Be a positive person. Be the set person to set that tone and find a better positive conversation so you can get better results. That's right. Be the atmosphere. Change the way you say things to people. And I guarantee that those things will make a difference. A positive impact in person's life. Believe it. It's happened. And I'm living it. So after understanding your attitude and have a positive mindset, and you still can't figure out what to do next, how about praise and worship? Because we understand the struggle is real. And I'm going to post that right there. You can check it out and see it for yourself. The struggle is real. So how do you break the atmosphere that is negative in your life? It's praise and worship by entering presence of God and ask God to change the atmosphere. Do you remember when Jesus was in the boat with the disciples and it was raining? It was crazy out there, and Jesus is like sleeping and like this, like nothing's really going on. Like, hey Jesus, it's raining and it's thundering. We're gonna get striked. Well, guess what? Jesus changed the atmosphere by calming the seas and the storms. So you can praise and worship God and pray and lift Jesus up, for he is God and he is Lord, and he will be for the rest of your life if you accept him. So praise and worship is a big deal in my life. And when the atmosphere gets crazy, that's when I turn into Jesus. That's when I make the change of my life for the better. Another way to be the atmosphere, start thanking people. Start thanking them for the things that they do, even if they're very little, because that shows that you care and you want to be that positive person in that environment. Remember, be the atmosphere, the good one, the one that brings good vibes to your life. Start saying thank you to people that are really mean the most to you. And even if, it doesn't happen right away, at least you set the atmosphere. Again, be the atmosphere. Make that difference in your life. In today's society, we are so tainted with the negative things that are out there, right? Let me share something with you out of Romans chapter 12, verse 2. Check this out. I'm going to read this off the screen. Do not copy the behavior, the customs of this world, but be transformed in the new person by changing the way you think. Then you'll learn to know that God will do good and pleasing is perfect. So this is a great verse, and it's found in the New Living Translation. Let me suggest, don't copy what the world is doing out there. Be the trendsetter. Set the atmosphere. Be that atmosphere. And I guarantee that people start seeing things in you totally different. And that's happened to me. And I know by going through this journey, maybe you've already made these changes. And that's great. Thanks for watching Motivation Inspired. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure down below you're hitting the subscribe button, you're following me, the notification bell. Make sure you comment. It's going to help me rank my videos. We'll see you on the next one.